cook dinner. Yet Liquid said, you're our dinner.
It's wild. It's wild, but let's see this next draft here. Flying Clouds!
Flying clouds!
Ooh.
I've never seen Sora on a flying cloud.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you define as a flying cloud, because, I mean, he does like
have a
surround
skill of
the...
flying.
Yeah.
But never mind. Okay,
Yeah, ma'am, it's built into
okay
his kit,
fine.
madam.
Okay.
But if you want to see double the cloud, I would not mind either. That'd be pretty funny.
He gets the flying cloud in-game and then goes down and then rides another cloud.
Just cloud after cloud. But in terms of the draft, right? Bans, SRG is going to be on blue side. TL now going to be on red side. Swap sides, and immediately we see the draft completely changes. Yuzong, the Lancelots are getting banned out. The Claude Kalia.
Yeah.
Like, this is the most honest first phase of the bans we've seen from both Arcadian as well as RC. These are the two picks that they think very highly of.
So Liquid now, it's going to be up to them to decide whether they're going to ban the Juicin or maybe the Grok as their last one. I think they're willing to just open up the Fanny. It's not the Grok, it is the Juicin. So is this going to be a first pick Grok for SRG?
Oh. And that's gonna... Well, there's no Claude anymore though. So that's, I guess, less threats or less things to cancel if you're SRG.
Yes.
But what could that mean for Liquid though?
I think what's going to happen is Grok or Kalia. Oh, wait. Is Kalia already banned? Yeah, Kalia's already banned out. So Grok is going to get picked up here. Or I don't know if they want to go like one step further and just be like blocking carry straight away and then just deal with the Grok.
Yeah, because it could be a carry response to the Grok. But
Never mind.
don't pick up the Grok.
I'm sorry, Yums. Forgive me for soiling your name.
That is his pick. It's one of the best shows in the world. I think Liquid can hold off into picking up their roamer until even the second phase. They can hold on. They can prioritize EXP. I think Phoveus as a rush pick would not be a bad idea at this point. You already see the show. You can just go Phoveus right now plus mid. Phoveus Farsa, considering that the Eve's gone.
I think they want to hold off on the Phoveus first. As much as I want to say that this could be like, oh, they're just going to have so many dashes, the first is carry. Second, yep, gato gacha. Because EXP is too important. There's a huge relationship between EXP and mid laners, right? So the matchups really influence each other. So now that they've got gato from the side of TL, now artillery majors are kind of out of the question. Farsa doesn't feel as good to kind of get in position.
The Valentina's still there for Stormy.
Hey, what if it's Liquid's turn to play the low E this time?
Oh.
There's a good argument for it.
Yeah, they love pairing low E and carry together. They did that in M4.
They should actually. They go. No, but if they show low E, but
Either way they can get it if like.
the problem is that I don't know whether or not this is like a cram cho, is this a Yums cho, or is it one of those things that Innocent has been working on?
Another Sora.
Okay.
So they have to make a choice.
Thinking whether the Sora's gonna go with EXP or gold again, but considering, I didn't know they can afford to put in the gold. They'll just be like a fighter gold. You already are packing the YSS.
Yeah.
You can change it. At least now you have an option to flex it. Depending if ever Team Liquid shows their EXP laner early, they can just shift into a better matchup for the EXP lane for Cram.
I think it's a pretty good idea overall. But okay, so they don't show their mid laner, which is kind of dangerous, but they get the Fredrin, which is super important. This does open up the option of actually locking in Arlet into the Sora matchup potentially, but we'll see.
Okay. So we're going to be bringing you on over back to the floor with Wolf and Rose to discuss what has happened in the draft so far. Wolf and Rose, take it away.
When you gaze into the abyss is banning.
Hey guys, welcome back to me. And of course, I am with Wolf, and we are still going to be discussing about the draft. Now, in game one, you mentioned you weren't a fan of some of the picks, some of the bans. This time, how do we feel?
It's totally different now. I'm not gonna lie. It's so difficult to guess and predict whatever's gonna happen, especially because of the pattern of the picks. But we are gonna see some, I would say, standard picks from Team Liquid. They went in for Fredrin carry, which I felt like is good for them. But generally in the metagame, it's a weaker composition because it doesn't close out the game as much. If SRG focuses on their scaling with the Yisun Shin, maybe deny the Valentina because there's a Sora DNN. If they ban that, I think they will have a much better spot. So right now, unlike game number one, I'm favoring the first three picks of SRG.
So now that you favor the first 3 picks of SRG, how do you feel about the Sora, especially since they kind of juked the side of Team Liquid by bringing the Sora in the gold lane and getting a Savage with it?
That's right. What I really like about the Sora right now is that you are forcing some counters on your opponents. At the same time, you're also flexing it because you can play into the gold lane. This time, Yisun the Sora in the gold lane is super duper viable. And the fact that they have these set of heroes means that they will have they have more approach to the second phase. All they have to do now is to ban the Valentina unless they're prepared against it.
Yes, we are currently waiting for the last ban from the side of SRG. And you know
That's
what?
Loyi for...
Yeah.
I heard Loyi. That's Loyi, right? Loyi.
Yes.
All right.
All right. And
So
with,
that's Farsa.
yes, thank you very much, Wolf. With that, casters, what do you think about Wolf's opinion?
All right, so the pick that I thought that would be going to Liquid actually gets banned out by them. They have whittled down Stormy's hero options greatly. They can even go Kadita here unless... But I want constant damage. If he has it in him, it's time to bring out the Lilia or maybe even something like a Sicilian if you have it in you.
I think personally, both Lilia and Sicilian do very good here because no matter what, Sanji is going to be able to win that early game with just the Kimi by himself. When it turns into a 2v2, at least he's got the Gata to say, even if you happen to get a better matchup than me, Gata is just going to turn it into a net neutral.
Yeah, I'm liking the idea of a Lilia. We haven't seen it just yet. Oh, but and again, this is another buffed hero, so...
What is this comp?
Despite the buff, though, excuse me, I still think that Jusin's damage is actually quite underwhelming. If she doesn't get the game that she wants, Sanford satisfied with his Lapu Lapu pick.
Yeah, very understandable for Sanford to actually get into this, but this is why we see that CC was going to be the lock-in, right? Innocent, his matchup is pretty straightforward overall, but he's playing against the carry. So the damage form, that lightning form, is going to be more relevant than the auto set you get from the cloud form.
Like, here I feel like we have much more comfortable picks for both sides. Specifically Liquid, if we're gonna talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
But the Zetian remains to be one of the most unpredictable parts of this lineup for a majority of us.
The Zetian pick really hurts the damage potential numbers of SRG. But they do have the damage, a lot of them, but not a lot of magic. It's a lot of physical that they're packing. Is it enough? Will a Zetian suddenly coming back be enough to bring us to a game number 3, or will Liquid lock in their knockout slot here and now with this one?
Let's find out as we see that the jungle start is going to be on the same side, mirrored side of the map. They're going to start on the top side and end up down by the bottom where the EXP laners are clashing it out currently. Now, we saw how the Sora provided some value when it hit at level 4, but prior to that, now that he doesn't have to worry about Claw getting these free hits, Oheb, I want to see how he trades against it.
It's Carry versus a Sora once again. We've seen enough of how Innocent actually gets to activate this hero. But I guess it's gonna be a bit concerning if we don't get to see it coupled with the right amount of damage. Again, we've pointed out Stormy as the Zetian. In the early stages, I would argue there is damage.
No, yeah. As someone who plays a lot of mid lane, it is annoying to deal with a Zetian in the lane. It's just that if the rest of the team doesn't get the start that they want, doesn't get the lead, if you're trying to make a comeback, the Zetian isn't the right hero for that. But definitely you can use it to bully the Kimi in the lanes.
I think the important thing is that everybody just wants to win their lane as hard as they can to buy time and space for Sakai's to farm back up. That's why Yoms, he's keeping a pretty close eye on where Carl TZ is going to be, and JP is now looking for potential cracks to punish their opponents.
Oh, he charged the Unbreakable far enough to taunt Cram. Sanford, does he have the damage to deal with him though? He spots Humes and decides to not go any further. Who got the gold crab?
Carl did,
Okay.
looks like. I wasn't able to get to Sakai's. If he did, he would be able to tick level 4 there. Up top, Innocent cutting the lane behind Oheb.
Yep, he's going to participate for the upcoming turtle fight here, and they don't care whether support's on level 4 or not. They're going to rush this here and now.
Oh, Carl TZ spots Humes. JP's really low though. Innocent going in. Sanji, does he have the damage? Oh, there's the ultimate already coming in from the Zip. Chen Appraisers, ran from Carl! And Humes is actually first blood. The flicker too from Sanford, but he might just get played out here. The turtle goes over to SRG.
He just... Innocent just walked away from it. Yeah, it's like land here. Don't worry about it. Sidestep.
Sanford, a little bit too greedy with that attempt. I think he was just definitely looking to finish off Innocent. It really hurt Liquid's chances there. The Sanji also was not level 4. Stormy was able to get there first. And this is what you want with the comp around the Zetian. Get that early game going strong.
Looks like it's going to be the two-finger setup for some guys. As we see him contest once again for the Litho Wanderer. Not even close. There's just too many members here on this side of the map. So they're just going to chill back out, look to scale. Oh!
Okay.
Raging Slash?
Curtain call and Yo-Yo Blitz also committed by Cram here, but Sanford will just clear the lane for now.
Be able to bring Crab low, and it looks like he will be able to get the EXP Crab.
Unless.
Yeah, no, it went to Sanford.
Okay.
Well, I think that the level lead doesn't really...
Oh, Humes finds Carl TZ. There's the counter AOG from JP though, and it doesn't connect with the A or the Appraiser's Wrath. Humes gets on here. Sanford trying to go for it, but he still has the deep conductor position, and the Fury of the Phoenix stops them from further chasing.
The wild part is that Stormy was holding on to that for quite some time.
Yeah, I thought... Is he?
He's dead. Oh, he catches him right at the very edge with the ult. Real nice usage.
Yeah, peak across the board. Stormy not using the ultimate meant that, yeah, they weren't able to get a burst, but that meant that they had a way to escape when the rest of Liquid were chasing them. So if that was an active call by Stormy to hold on to his ultimate for the retreat, it's a great call.
Yeah, it can be used either way, depending on whatever they need. But the turtle is coming up, and compared to the first instance that we saw these two go,
Sakai stole it. Sakai stole it.
He stole it, but he doesn't have Retri anymore, and that's going to be Carl's call to say, hey, we got to do this right here, right now.
Yeah.
If not, it's going to be too late.
Yep, and compared to Turtle 1, everyone's not that low. Oh, there's something happening up top. But before we get to even look at that, Team Liquid takes the objective in exchange of OHEB.
The guys in Innocent juggled under the tower to take that carry down. And OHEB has been struggling in the lane against that Sora. Good thing Liquid is packing a 2-carry lineup, so now they also have Sanji, who did not have the best game as well. So in terms of the major damage dealers, Liquids are struggling.
Yeah, they're gonna wait for a bit more. Ooh.
So good. So smart of Humes. Don't need to take the second half. Get that Purify out of there as soon as possible. But notice, 2K gold lead for the side of Selangor Red Giants. If it breaks 4, we should be worried.
Yeah. That should mean that SRG are in a much more comfortable spot. Innocent, good read.
Stormbind, OHEB does not have a way out. JP couldn't even save him there. Not even the traction pulse is going to connect against the members of SRG.
Absolutely bodied. OHEB is just straight up losing lane against Innocent. The Sora doing really well against that carry.
Yeah. No amount of dashes could really keep him safe.
Yeah, and you can see, based on the goal difference here, literally 900 ahead for the side of Sakai's. From Cram's side, he's already pushed up to 400. Down by the goal lane, Innocent is winning by 1,000.
Sanji has a slightly bigger lead compared to the Zetian, but that's only like 26 gold. And the glowing wand only,
First
along with the
item.
full build boots at 6 minutes in, mean this is going to take a lot of time for Team Liquid. Broken Scythe only for this carry, while still on the way to the Dominus Ice is JP.
It's gonna take a bit more time before we see Liquid actively winning the fights, honestly, because they are trying to look for those fights, and we see it time and time again, but it's just that we don't get to feel as much damage yet from the likes of Sanji, from the likes of OHEB. They're clearly trying to catch up. So maybe we might see a similar game plan as what Liquid did earlier, but not like this. Not when SRG have their eyes set on OHEB and shutting him down.
I don't know whether this is going to be worth it at the end of the day. Eventually, Innocent will start to fall off and OHEB will start to scale. And Team Liquid, they know that. They know that it's all about just holding out until we get those items, and eventually we will be able to beat them in terms of raw damage. The only problem is that SRG is really good at kiting him with a composition that has a majority of ranged heroes, well, quote-unquote ranged heroes. It's going to be extremely difficult for Team Liquid to walk out without punishment.
Oh, Humes. Will they actually go for Sanford here? Still survives. Mountain Chopper available even under the turret. There goes Sikai's. He gets to generate a bit of shield, but that's 3 members of SRG. Now TL will try to look for the trade in the mid lane. AOG doesn't necessarily connect in the middle, finds the setup, and so will Humes. And Liquid fail to find a kill. It's all SRG right now, and they get to take down all 5.
What a covert flank! A slight delay, a preemptive flicker from Stormy, an AOG to try and take out mid-tier 1, ended up with a team wipeout after they saw the dive onto Sanford. Rather crazy, and Sakai's still has more to give.
Oh, now Sanford's all alone under the turret, and he gets to receive the way of the dragon. Doesn't even get to clear the minions as SRG takes him down.
Wow.
Innocent going in once again. There's the traction pulse from Sanji. One by one, Liquid are trying to chase, but the kiting's just too good for SRG.
Wow.
Do they have the damage though? Abraser's Wrath already used. Crab finds the members of the backlines, and that's already enough for Team Liquid to run away.
It's like the last game didn't even happen for SRG, as now they look completely dominant against Team Liquid. 6,000 and great map rotations all across the board, shutting down OHEB, shutting down Sanford, and now they're looking to shut down the center of the map, meaning Liquid are going to have to crawl back from a major deficit here.
I mean, Team Liquid already made a pretty big mistake when they decided, you know what? We're going to trade your mid T1 for my bot T1, and that was not how it played out. The Selangor Red Giants, I think at this point, understand they have the lead. The question is, how do I force it onto Team Liquid without losing too much?
Yeah, but the difference is that Liquid 2 can't just really let OHEB go out by himself too much. Oh, the Way of the Dragon got cancelled though. By the taunt from Carl Teasy, Sanford going with the Bravest Spider, 2-man stun with the Mountain Shocker. That was an almost team fight, but Liquid stayed patient.
Yeah, you see SRG though with how they're moving, they force out the other members of Liquid around that Lord. Although JP, Sanji, and Sanford are still here, Stormy and Sakai's are holding a very good position. This looks like it might go to SRG.
Oh, everyone's getting poked down really, really low.
Set.
JP's already half HP too. Ola will be able to join here. Carl Teasy going in. It's gonna be a wretched battle. And Sakai's wins it out. Innocent with the setup. He catches 2. And now JP is down in exchange of Humes. But then Sanji has nowhere to run. Carl Teasy's down as well. It's only Sanford and OHEB all alive. But the Cyclone Eye! Stormy might just walk out of this alive. Sanford going in. He will get the kill. But so will he go down.
Well played, Stormy. His passive comes up. He knows he can buy at least half a second if he makes contact with Sanford, and he guarantees an equal trade. JP could look to block this wave. It's not worth it. Just let it go. Sanji's coming up. Carl Teasy's coming up. OHEB is here to protect. Keep hold of the inhibitors.
Yeah, he won't allow it to pop the Holy Shield. The Lord is still going to be marching up top. Liquid forced that fight because they knew they wanted to minimize the impact of this Lord. Innocent spots out Carl, and Innocent will get out. Liquid will be able to stop the Lord from getting anywhere close to the base turrets.
They get to clear it out somehow. For now, this has been such a good game for Cram though.
Yes, excellent.
5-0-2 on the CC.
His late entries have been key. The use of the curtain call, tying Liquid together, the team fighting, making it awkward for them. Kick though already committed by Humes.
I mean, they're going to keep trying every single time his cooldowns are off, right? The only time Liquid decides, you know what, maybe we'll consider what you're doing is when you're already in their face and they need to respond. If not, they're just going to flop over. And Team Liquid does not like flopping over.
7K, almost 8K for SRG. The gold lead in game number 1 never reached this point. But now SRG have complete control over this game.
I feel like one of the major catalysts of this has been Yoon's presence on this show. He's just been constantly map marking, and because he has two other heroes with him that gives him global vision, well, no wonder Team Liquid feel like they've just been checked all throughout the game, because literally they have been. You have the Cho seeing vision with his own body, and then you have the ultimate of Zetya, the ultimate of the Yi Sun-shin as well.
Oh, they spot. He double checks it. No way he double checks it.
Good read.
Who does that? Who double checks that bush of all places?
It's that feeling. I wouldn't be surprised if even it was Sanji calling, "Hey, Dad, I feel like someone's here." And yes, they call him Dad.
Oh.
Yeah, such a cute way to address the roamer.
It's like, Dad, there's someone here.
Yeah, it just sounds like he's the parent.
Yeah, one of the problems now is Liquid will have a wave that they have to think about in the bottom lane, handled by Cram. The mid lane will get easily cleared out here by SRG. Definitely all signs point to SRG having the less awkward position when we get into the second lord of the game, which might mean an easier time for Sakai to just retro yet. Carlton isn't even level 15 yet. So Liquid will have to really work for it if they want to get this lord. It begins with managing the minion waves, and then if they can find a push, then they can go for the full take. But with how well SRG's been managing the map, that might be way too tough.
I mean, we say that, but they're still prone to mistakes. Like, Sakai is the only reason why he's 4-1 and 11, especially when he was 4-0 and 11, was because he just didn't check the bush, right? They just no resources to check it, and he just walked into OHEB.
Okay.
And now as they contest, right?
Oh, innocent!
Innocent catches two. There's the Fury of the Phoenix as well. But will they actually commit to this fight? Sanford going in with a Land Shaker. Oh, but JP cannot tank the damage. That's a monster kill for Crab. And -1 for Liquid.
They still try. They're still waiting for the Bravest Fighter to come back. Carlton will now have to help share the load of holding the front while Cram is pushing the mid lane.
They don't need to do anything. They could reset this right now. They've got a pushing wave down bot side, a net pushing wave on the mid. Top side they can start effective, but now they get into a fight.
There goes the Bravest Fighter, and it's cooldown. It's a shutdown for Sanford onto Grab, but it'll end in the back lines by Sanji and OHEB. Carl TZ shuts him down though, but that's already 3 members gone. With the flicker still catches up to Sanford. JP will be here, but now he's all alone. Can he clear the waves?
He's still trying, he's holding, he's trying to go after the guys to force him back. There's still minion waves.
Oh, the immortality pops. Now the
AOG,
only one is the turret. JP gets to AOG out, but there's still 1 minion left. And Sakai's just bursts him down. We are going to a game number 3.
Tell me this ain't like best goddamn series you've watched so far. 1-1 is the scoreline. SRG, make this competitive.
No better way to end this day of the Swiss stage. When Giants and Titans face each other, we will go all the way.
This is such a fun series. This is such a fun series. And TL, they get off of that. They're going to be making their way off of that stage, but you can see that they're talking to each other. They know, like, hey, we can't let that happen again. The draft had maybe a couple of holes, but there's a big problem that we're not dealing with, and that's Innocent on this Sora. We can't let him keep getting through with this.
It may have not won in game number 1, but the threat was there.
Yeah.
It was too evident that Innocent and his mastery on the Sora was something else.
It was, honestly, it's kind of ridiculous how good he is, but I feel the worst for OHEB. Not only was he dove back to back to back to back by the 4 beats, of course, SRG, but even more so is that what is considered playable space? If you walk too far forward, Cram is going to eventually catch you down, and he has Vengeance, so you can't trade back. Sora sucks you in for an engagement, you can't do much about it. You can't really abuse the range, and you will never be able to poke them out unless they truly make a mistake, like walking into a bush.
Laning up until the very end looked a bit or way too good for SRG. So, what are they doing?
They're massaging him. The Cram is just like, oh man, that was not an easy game.
That was a doozy. I also just realized, like, as we saw the team fights unfold, how difficult it was for Team Liquid to fight. Because how Stormy was also layering and timing the Fury of the Phoenix with everything else.
Yup.
Yooms would get in a kick, Liquid would want to respond, but they have to space out a little bit or they'll all get stunned. But the next thing you know, you still have to deal with, most importantly, I feel like the most worth it ultimate here was actually the Mountain Chalker, the turtle ship toss of Sekai's. It was on point every single time.
He didn't whiff it. He made sure that he always waited for the right CC to come through before the commitment as well. And yet, I think the best part about this kit, that traceless. So many times, literally about to die, traceless to get him out into the right position while having the iframes to do so.
Yeah, and they were just so decisive when they had that opportunity to just end the game. That was a close call for JP. He could have made a clutch play at that moment, but then a single traceless basic attack from Sekai's was already enough to take him down. And I think that goes to show how far behind Liquid was in that game, because JP was the guy expected to tank everything, or at least sustain a couple of basic attacks from this guy and from the other guys, but he could barely do that anymore.
I don't know if it was also a team call by SRG, because when you look at their lineup with the Sora that they have, it would be actually difficult for Liquid to fight out the turtles, knowing that OHEB's already behind. They're always just going to be going 5v4, 5v4. But what happened was, SRG said, we don't care about the turtles, actually. We just want the carry always dead. So as Gideon mentioned, the back-to-back dives onto the carry really hurt Liquid's chances in the long run. If it was a different story, if SRG competed against Liquid for those turtles more heavily, OHEB would have gotten more farm. They would have been a little bit closer to the damage department. But as they focus on the gold laner SRG, that meant the major threat in terms of the damage is really just the Kimmy, which at that point is like, we really don't mind.
Yeah, and it was somehow shut down by the range that Zetian got to offer. So there was a bit of a question in terms of if it could actually be on the same level in terms of damage. But since they got to Snowball and they got the early game advantage, you could feel how much it hurt. Like those small phoenixes and all that.
The little
Small
phoenix,
what?
the baby phoenix.
The baby phoenix.
Yes, but even so, let's give it up for our MVP of this game, going over to nobody else but Sekai's. The team, again, did extremely well, but making sure that one death was his only death that game was pretty difficult, considering that there were 4 to 5 times where he genuinely looked, he was like on his last legs.
7-1 and 14. Made the most out of his ultimates every time. And you'll see it in the highlights how important his YSS was.
Thank you so much. Because now, as we look at the highlights, we need to make sure that we are understanding what the situation is happening here on very first Turtle Contest. As you can see here, Sanford hasn't hit level 4. And because of this, so many important ultimates to disrupt their opponents, especially from Stormy's POV. He gets to attack for free. He is completely wide open in these fights. As you see, Innocent as well as Crime getting heavily involved with the situations here as well as here. No matter what happens, you've already pushed your enemies off of that turtle, allowing Sekai's to continue to play the game for free. But this repeats itself a couple of times, right? Every single one of these neutral objectives before the first one, it's all about getting the resources out of hand. And when OHEB continuously falls behind, turning these 4v5 scenarios by neutral takes has been a really good component and the most important component for SRG to get ahead in this metagame. Now, dive after dive after dive, let's pause this here. Because in this fight, this was Liquid's one opportunity to even the score and turn this deficit, this 6K deficit, back to a neutral state. However, when the stuns come on through, notice as the game progresses, the kick, the knock-up, JP comes through, but no matter what, that traceless, you can't do anything about that CC immunity, allowing him to get free retributions to contest every single one of them, even if he is behind. So Lance, Yishinshin, tomato, tomato, some may say. But these fights continued even further, right? With small, intelligent plays all across the board. This is the one we must discuss. As the first engagement happening on this side of the map continues, we notice that the rest of Liquid are moving to the top side of the map. Now, moving to the top side would only mean one of two things. Either you are contesting for space here, or you are looking to contest space where you hop over this wall as Fredrin to try and take over, at least get close enough to the Lord Pit. The most ideal position for a Fredrin is to be right about here. Enough to contest the enemy jungler and close enough for the retribution in case you have to go for an all-in. As the fight progresses, this is where it all changes. The initial kick forcing the entire team of Team Liquid to move to the left-hand side of the map. Once they were done with this left-hand side, they continue to keep on fighting. And notice, even when it fails, that's when SRG decide to call it off. It's about impact. It's not about securing the objective. Once the damage has been done, it's a free walk in the park as they run all the way right up to the middle inhibitor, take out Daddy JP, and close out the game.
Thank you for the breakdown, Gideon. On point as always. And you saw it there, the impact, really, of Sakai's on the season Shin. Vision provided and maximizing the stunts to go along with all of the crowd control abilities that the team of SRG had under their belt to mess up the team fighting flow of Team Liquid Philippines. And you want to, when you go up against Team Liquid and they're going for their front to back, you want to mess up their team fighting flow. Maximize the crowd control that you have, because if you let them run wild, there's a reason why they're called the Stampede. It's just this time around it was stopped by SRG.
And they had so many ways to disrupt, to do that. It's, I think, more than the Mountain Shocker that revealed so much information. Even the Fury of the Phoenix could do the same. So let's say you use it at one point and then eventually Liquid actually try to work around or find ways to reposition themselves. There's still the Fury of the Phoenix. Or if they use it both at the same time as the team fights break out, then that's all the more gonna be a problem.